What up? What up? What up? It is another episode of the Shark Cove coming back to you after a 1 day absence. I'm your host. You know my name. I don't need any introduction. And if I do, then you're new to the show. Watch some old ones. Anyway, I've got none other than Mr. Moose with me today. Moose, how are you doing? No tank top for me, no tank top for you. It's not Tank Top Tuesday, but I guess that's something that we have to do from now on, huh?
Yes, Tank Top Tuesday is in full effect.
Nice, nice. We've got the emojis now. I'm just watching this Baron fight here in this Academy game. I'm watching CLG just absolutely throw this and throw my bet into the trash as they. Oh, no, they're gonna win this. We're gonna get this. Come on, let's go. All right, Azir's too strong. Twitch too strong. Aziri not strong enough. There we go. There we go. Man, I will tell you what. One of the easiest bets that was on the slate today of games was this overhyped TSM Academy that's been absolute dog shit all year. You put tactical on there, they win a series going against Team Liquid, who's been pretty good. You know what happened in that first game? It was like 30-3, right? Absolute like dismantling. There was another easy bet in the Prime League. Maus played SK. SK's a decent team. Maus is like completely overrated. They started the season playing like four of the worst teams, and everybody thought they were good, myself included. They played some good teams and they got beat, right? And then they beat the four worst teams in a row, right? And all of a sudden, they're the favorites in this game. Do you want to know what the score of that game was, Moose?
What?
30-1. How does that even happen? Like how do you lose like 30-1? Like, damn, man. Damn. I hope some of my GPP lineups can have a team that has 30 kills against a team that has one. Speaking of which, last night, man, I thought I was going to get there for a second. You know, the lineup that I had was Aiming, Rascal, 4v5, and then the KT team slot. And it was looking pretty good, like especially after game one from V5, like where like Rich was garbage, everybody else balled out, and they just needed to score more than anyone's legend, basically, right? And then they go out and put 10 kills up. 10 kills.
Isn't that what won the T-Dub?
I didn't have it there. I think it would have maybe taken second. No, it would have won. You're right. Exactly. I didn't have it there.
Won the T-Dub with that.
Yeah. He had it. I think it like took 12th in the main. I won the $10, and then like third or fourth or something, the $5 or something like that. There were several lineups that were better than that at the end. But I think if they had gotten like 15 or 20 kills or 16 or 17, I think it ends up being optimal and being like the best lineup there was. So close. You know, I'm not taking down dime contests. I'm not that good apparently, but we're just here for the memes. All we do is troll now, right? So you know, let's get right into it. We've got a slate here. We got Iron Berserker in the chat. What up? What up? What up? What's going on? What's going on? What's good? Seeing some stuff here.
We have any news to cover?
Well, yeah, there are a couple different subs that are playing, so that's something to just pay attention to. But go ahead, you know, they're talking about it in the Discord, and I don't normally look at the screen, and your cat's kind of just freaking me out. It's into this show, into the research.
He meditates. Yeah, he likes to be next to me.
So you were telling me before the show that you were going through lineups, like seeing how often people actually hit like the optimal, most highest scoring lineup, and that happened very rarely last year. Is that correct?
What happened very rarely?
What we were talking about before the show about the most optimal lineup being played.
Oh yeah, so last year when I went through every single winning lineup last year, and like in both the 15 and the T-Dub, and from what I can tell, it was always like there was always room for improvement in lineups in both the 15 and the 3-3-3, but I've never seen so far this split seeing a guy hit the nut twice on like the best possible scoring lineup, and he did it twice. He did it one time for sure I remember was with Rich Captain. It was like a V5 top esports DRX team, and then he hit it one more time. But it was just, I think what it also puts into perspective is that people are just getting a lot smarter when it comes to DFS with League, and they're starting to really be kind of broadening the horizon of what they play in GPP. And that was just a perfect day where like Rich had like the big pop off game when like not a single carry was able to mimic that kind of performance. The
Well,
carry that came close was like Zika or something.
Well, I don't think it's just that too. I think sometimes not only is the field getting sharper, but what you also see is prohibitive pricing that forces you into certain builds if you want to put two teams. And at times there are going to be two teams that are just going to be optimal. I mean, yesterday looks very different if DRX is able to kind of like hold serve in one of those like last two games and Amy doesn't pop off, because then you're essentially looking at just nothing but favorites, and there weren't a lot of good combinations with those favorites. And looking at the slate yesterday, like at least for me, I didn't see a lot of ways that V5 didn't sweep. Like look, the blue side advantage, they were definitely going to win the series. IG is terrible. So V5 was somebody that you wanted to get into your lineup, but it was very hard to do so if you wanted to play another favorite
Mm.
and get four of them. And that's essentially what you wanted to do. You looked at then you have Anyone's Legend and TT. And as much as I kind of like meme on the Mike B observation that you can't four stack against TT, and obviously you can because you could yesterday, right? That's something to consider. Like, and Anyone's Legend was a very expensive stack, and I felt
Very
like they were going to
expensive.
win that series. I thought they were going to win 2-1. I think that there was a possibility that they lost it, but TT was going to be pretty popular. And so how do you get different with TT being popular? And just damn one, I thought that they were going to win. So it really did leave that DRX KT, and neither of those teams are teams that I trust. And so you just have to kind of figure out a way to build it. And AL kind of showed out. And the game that they lost happened to be a high scoring game. And sometimes that's what you need. When you see your team in a position, especially when they're up 1-0 and they've got 10, 15 kills on the board, you kind of almost want them to lose and then go to game 3 and win game 3, because they're just going to outscore it at that point. And it's just a weird thing to root for. It's kind of like rooting for unders, where you're rooting for your team to lose because it's going to end up being optimal for you in kind of this format.
Yeah, and Damwon just decided to end the game. Like, I don't know what that was. I woke up and I was like watching Damwon win, and I was like, "Oh, perfect!" Like, if Damwon scored better, I would have done a lot better on the slate. But I just watched them just like walk down and just end the game with 11 kills. So it was really sad. But that's Damwon for you. So you live
Well,
and
I'm
die by
sad for you that
Damwon.
you were sad. So let's hop into this. Let's go in chronological order, though. Let me sort this in chronological order. Um, I don't know if I should put the second um, LCK game third, or should I put it fourth? Because it's always the last one to finish. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and hop right into this. We have on our hands a 4-game slate prior to the big 5-game slate that we're excited about. The first game is nothing to be excited about. It is absolutely garbage. We've got Fred at Brion. We don't even know who the fuck's playing for Fred at Brion. It might be like a multitude of guys. They might run out 8, 9 different players between 2, maybe 3 games. You've got Nongshim, who we do think we know who's going to be playing for the most part. At one point this year, I thought Nongshim was going to be a fantastic target for fantasy, and that has not been proven to be the case. But at no point this year have I thought that Fred Brion was a good target for fantasy, even targeting against them. And that proved to be wrong when T1 decided to draft the ultimate skirmish comp. We've got Brion at minus 150, plus 1.5 here. Nongshim minus 310 to win. Like, I don't like anything here. I don't like anything here from a betting standpoint. Do you like anything that is on the screen currently?
Uh, from a betting standpoint, I'm like, I feel like the plus 1.5 is the only thing I would consider. because Nongshim are not a 2-6 team. They are a one. Well, they are a 1-7 team that got lucky, and they are really bad. But this just feels like there's like nobody else that they can lose to. This is it. This is like their shining moment to like actually perform well. They've only had one other time where they actually did well in this before, and it was when they played against they played against Guangdong and they like destroyed them, and Nongshim was like optimal for that slate. So this might be that kind of same scenario. At the same time, it's like I really don't like the -150, considering the fact that it's an 0-8 team. I feel like the odds could have been probably a little bit better. There's just there's just not much to like about this, and I've completely not. I don't know. Like I feel like I almost want to take kill unders, but I don't even know what they are.
Well, glad you asked. I can actually let you know what those are. So it looks like it's 20 and a half. So it's not a number that's really attractive. I don't have these updated. I knew I forgot to do something today, guys. So I'm sorry. You know what? Everybody, I'll refund everybody's subscription for the next month. So completely free for another month if because I messed this up. I apologize. Here we go. Bro, throughout the data that we have, this under 20 doesn't look terrible, but it just never feels good. And when you go to Nongshim recently, at least when Nongshim wins, I don't know. Maybe you take a stab at it if you want to. If you want to wake up, so here's the way that I look at it. Moose, if I want to wake up at 4 a.m. or if you want to stay up, you can bet on the game. You have something going, or conversely, what you can do is not bet on the game, not have anything, and you can go to bed. I can sleep in. That's the way that I look at this series. You muted yourself, my guy.
There's only two options here, right? Either this is a completely inconsequential game and it just turns into like a 9-8 fest or a 9-3, 10-5 type of fest, or Nongshim has the game of their life, and that's pretty much the only two options I see here.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get into the DFS standpoint, but like I don't really want to bet any of this. You're paying a little extra for the 21 and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you go with the -170. It just doesn't feel good paying that much extra juice on any over-unders. I think that you could probably, bet this -2,000, max it out and see what happens,
Yeah. I'm not just terrible. All right, let's move on.
All right. So let's get into this game. And I think that this game's a lot more interesting for a lot of reasons. Prior to doing that, I am going to move something over here. My bad. I want to just grab something right here. Let's go. Boom. Thank you. All right. So we've got Team WE with the blue side prio. +1.5 is +180. There are a +725. JD Gaming has absolutely looked like a team that drops a game every single series. And not only have they looked like that team, they actually have been that team. And so when I tell you that I like this +180, +1.5, I'm not lying. And I also will take a little sprinkle, a little drizzle of that +725. It's just too big. We've seen how powerful this blue side advantage has been, even for teams like WE. And we have seen some of the better top echelon good teams like JDG really step up their game in that third and deciding game if they dropped one. But like if you're telling me, I basically look at that like this: like Team WE is going to have a best of one at +725 against JD Gaming, who presumably at that point had already lost to them one time. Look, I'm taking it. I like it. I think the changes in coaching, the changes in the bot lane. This should be no more than like a +500. So I'll take the +725. I don't have high hopes. I love this map spread. Do you like the money line, or am I crazy?
I'm not taking the money line, but I definitely like the +1.5. JD Gaming just likes. It's almost like they purposely go to 3 games because they want more practice or something.
Well, I think it just comes down to like a lot of the blue side action, man. That's we've seen it. We've seen how powerful it is. It's not noise at this point. It's a lot more than that. it's something actionable, at least in the current state of the game. And so plus 1.5, plus 180, that's a smash bet. I'm taking the money line. And you can look at things like the spread too, like plus 10.5, plus 11.5. That's interesting if you want to go that route. And then the over unders, what we're looking at is 25.5. I mean, like the big thing for me when it comes to these two teams is that when WE wins, it's not typically this back and forth battle of wills. It's really more like they snowball, they get the advantage, and they end up winning by a large margin. Same can be said when they lose. And we don't need to look too far. I don't think I have the last series for the LPL in here, but when we take a look at WE, they're at the top. I'm missing like one or two series from WE, but you can see, like, I guess when they won this game and they won this game, I don't have a ton of data on WE winning, I guess. But when they lose, this isn't a team that allows a ton of kills. And for what it's worth, JDG was and can be a high scoring team, but they don't string it together within series consistently enough that I want to attack the spot. I think JDG is going to be popular in DFS. I haven't looked at the pricing. I haven't looked at the projections, but I will say that, people love playing Hope. They love playing Kanavi. JDG just tends to be optimal. What are you thinking here from a betting standpoint? Anything else that you want to talk about in this game?
No, I think the writing is kind of on the wall here. I'm not going to take any over unders here. I'll just take the plus 1.5. But I think you're right that I don't know what kind of JD Gaming is going to come out and play, and I don't think that if either the 2 or 3 games that they play are going to be close. I really just feel like it's going to be blowout. So.
All right. So from a betting standpoint, we get into another series. Moose, I'm a huge Sandbox guy. I love Sandbox. I think they're good. I think they're good for fantasy. I like betting on them, but holy shit, minus 485 for Sandbox. I get it. Hanwha's not good. Sam D's not there. Plus 320 just seems a bit heavy-handed for Hanwha. This team has been scrappy. They've taken games off of much better teams than Sandbox. Am I crazy for thinking that not only do I like the plus 1.5, but I really like the plus 320?
Yeah, I think Hanwha Life are like my favorite dog tonight in the speculation of like them having actually a chance to win. So, and they're not afraid to play against the best teams and take games off of them, especially on blue side, I guess, right? I don't know if necessarily they
Blue side hasn't been as popular or hasn't been as impactful in the LCK.
I know.
So I don't really consider
when I picture flashbacks of Hanwha Life wins in my head, for some reason it's always blue side.
Give me a second, I'll tell you. Let's take a look. Let's go to Korea. LCK Summer. Teams in wins. Hanwha. So Hanwha has 7 map wins. 6 of them are on blue side. So damn, wow. You are on point there. But okay, so I wonder, do they have, give me a second here. I don't think that they have side selection, though. I think that they're going to be on the other side. So, I mean, look, what it comes down to with all of these type of situations that we're talking about from a betting standpoint, at least for me, is you're assuming an increased probability of the team winning on blue side. That transfers to both teams, right? So you end up with a 1-1 going into a game 3. And like, I like anybody's chances, especially in the LPL, especially in the LCK, in a best of 1. We've seen the volatility that you can get from that in the LCS and the LEC. But even as bad as some of these teams look at times, they look really good in fleeting moments. the biggest difference to me with a good team in the LCK and a bad team in the LCK, and the same can be said in the LPL, is just the amount of mistakes that they make overall in the big picture. But, in a small enough amount of time, you can see none of those mistakes, and they can play a very clean game, or they can play a very clean series. And I want the plus 320. I want the minus 110 for the plus 1.5. Those are both bets that I'm going to make. And I'm a big sandbox guy. It's just these numbers are too big, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are too big. Um, you know, it's interesting because you know, I think scoring wise, like fantasy wise, we're probably on the other side, and we're more sandbox favored here in terms of the potential. But yeah, definitely taking those two bets. Um, I'm not touching over unders here at either because I just don't know what's gonna happen.
So, another interesting thing that might be actionable from a betting standpoint, I guess I'll take a look into it, is, when we're taking a look at these teams on the blue side, and for the viewers at home or at work or in your car or wherever you are, is if you want to take some of these like first blood bets, I would almost start to take a look at, not so much in the LCK, but maybe in the LPL, how that correlates to team successes within the game. Like, how often are they getting the first blood in wins versus losses? How often does that happen on like the blue side or whatever the case is? And you might be able to kind of get some content out of that. You know what? As a matter of fact, do they have first blood? I don't think that they do for the LPL. Okay, they do. So let's go ahead and take a look at something here while we're talking about this, because I think this is interesting. It might not be. It might be terrible. So I apologize in advance. But WE, they have 4 wins. All of those wins almost come on the blue side, 67% first blood rate. So if we want to take a look at that, Team WE to get first blood on map 1 plus 120. I mean, I think that's a kind of interesting bet. I might take something like that. I might take a little stab at that. I think that this is going to be better for underdogs in situations. Speaking of that, we've got RNG and LNG. LNG has been one of the worst teams on red side in the entire LPL. They're one of the most dramatic of these splits, and they start on red side against RNG. This is another series where it feels like it goes 3, right? So my question to you is, are you more in favor of assuming that LNG can win one of these first 2 games, specifically the second one, or that RNG is going to throw that game? Or do you think that RNG is good enough? And I know that they are, but do you think that they will go ahead and take care of business and sweep this series? LNG has looked questionable at times this year.
I think this goes to 3 games. I don't know, man. Like every time I picture RNG, I just picture Prime's face telling me random number generator, and I just feel like that's exactly what RNG gives you. Is like they're so good at playing down to their opponent's level, and I just feel like they've only had like one clean, like really clean sweep against TT, and everything else has just been like these 2-1 smash fests where you're like waking up in the morning, you're tired as hell, RNG is walking down to the base. Like that's what it feels like.
Well, look, man, and this is what it is. I mean, all of these teams that you're talking about this and you're making these observations, it all comes down to this blue-red side, just craziness that's happening in the LPL. So look, RNG is 2-5 on red, but they're 10-3 on blue. It's pretty crazy. When we go to LNG, also 10-4 on blue, but 2-7 on red. Pretty crazy. And what's like the first blood props on this? LNG, so map even. So okay, so map 2, LNG is going to be on blue side. LNG in blue in wins 60%, but RNG on red in losses 20%. What all results 29, so it's a little bit better. So maybe you'll know if your bet's still good. If they get the first blood, it's over. Or if they don't get the first blood, rush to the window, rush to the book, and get that bet in because it's probably donezo for them. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you though. Like, I don't hate this, but I do like taking the stab sometimes on a team that I think is good enough to win that second game on the red side. And I don't know, I'm doubting it a little bit right now after looking at those numbers, but you're giving me plus 125. I'm confident RNG wins this first game. So, Moose, I know you're like a human calculator. It's your strength, right? Should I take the 205? Should I lay the 2 units on that to pick up the 1? Or should I try and pick up the 1 unit or 1.25 units, risking half the unit to get just a little bit more and need them to win games 1 and 2? What do you think's the better bet? I don't know. Somebody at home can tell us, unless you
Uh,
can.
yeah, somebody at home can tell us for sure, but I just don't feel like the plus 125 is big enough for me to want to take it. I just don't want to. I just want nothing to do with it. You just showed us why, and like I don't know, man. Like I guarantee you, I'm gonna be waking up at 6 or 5 in the morning tomorrow, and I'm gonna watch RNG in Game 3 winning it. So it feels like it's going to 3 games.
All right. Are you staying up tomorrow night? Are you going to be on the
No, I'm
crazy
exhausted, so I'm gonna go to sleep and then
tomorrow night? Not tonight. Tomorrow night.
oh, tomorrow night I'll be staying up. Yeah.
All right, cool. I think what we're going to do, we'll do the show. I'm going to make my lineups, and then I'm going to start drinking. And then I'm going to fire up the podcast, the stream here, and we'll be here. Maybe we'll talk some drafts. We'll live bet. We'll have a good time. Once all of our lineups are dead, we'll go to sleep. So hopefully we're sweating the whole morning. So let's take a look at something else. So when we're talking about who was the first game again? Not Bro. It was we looked at that one. So
Bro and S, JDG,
yeah.
WE.
So when we were looking at these though, on results, they're 1-10 on the red side. On the blue side, they're 3-4. So it's a pretty stark difference right there for WE. When it comes to JDG, I think we pointed it out as a whole, but blue side 12-1, red side 5-7. It's just absolutely nuts, the disparity between those two. When we go and take a look at the LCK, like I said, it's not as big of a difference. So we've got Brion. They're just going to be bad on both sides. Blue, 1-10. Red, 0-6. So look, they have a blue side advantage, right? Nongshim, 3-6, 2-7. Nothing really there. Sandbox, I think that they're probably pretty even. 5-4, 7-4. Not really anything that you can derive from that, I don't think. Hanwha, 1-9 on red. The blue, the 6-8. So yeah, look, my favorite bets on the day for this slate is that WE. Like I love the spread. I want some of this money to win, and then RNG. I mean, we'll take a look at how that kind of connects into DFS. In fact, let's do that right now. Let me take a look, see if we have any comments. You guys are fucking quiet today, man. Like it's crazy.
It's a quiet day.
Unacceptable. I had somebody else that was supposed to come on. I didn't really tell him in enough time, and he should be coming on at some point. So we'll see. Give me a second here. Got a little text message. Don't know why anybody's what is going on. Oh wow. It's a big fish. All right, so let's hop into this. Moose, where are we going in cash? You direct me. You're the cash guy.
I don't know. RNG tonight are going to be very easy to fit into lineups, which makes me kind of squeamish. But I mean, my cash strategy is always revolving around getting as many pieces as I can that I like in terms of winners and people that are highly favored. So, my short-term goal was like fitting as much JDG as I could in there, but I'm not really seeing much that I like. So
All right, let's take a
I
look.
might just bury the Prince hatchet and play some LSB.
You have a hatchet with Prince? You have a problem with it? What's going on? What happened? Tell me about it.
I don't know. I'm just salty that he does so well.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like it's a Gugs Osmo type thing.
No, not really. But
Well, I'm just saying you're salty that he does so well, and that's exactly why Guggs is upset with Awesome. So apparently, I'm just gaslighting, though. That's all we do these days. So yeah, we're looking at a Ming captain here. I mean, you could probably do a little better. You can't do like a top captain with these.
No, you're gonna have to add some live sandbox pieces to get some way action in there, Konavi.
You could do a 369 captain.
Yeah, you could do a 369 captain if you want to just take, but like, why would you not want to take like LSB team or Brent
I don't know. I don't know.
or KL for that matter?
All right. Well, let's take a look at something here. 598 for that type of construction right there. 620. I mean, this is still way higher. Nongshim. 615. I mean, really likes that lineup. Man,
Yeah,
I don't know, but like,
Longchamp tonight though is like you really want to go down that road, like.
yeah, and I don't think I'd want to go down. I think I'd rather it go like this. You know, this would be.
I don't know. Tonight's cash is weird. Like, you're just playing RNG and then they win in 3 games. So whatever they score in those 3 games, pretty much.
Yeah.
That or you.
But I think JDG is going to go 3 games too. I mean, look. So, what's this? What's this go?
Like, I know we want to see it go 3 games, but at the end of the day, they are like a -1 million favorite.
Bro, I'm betting the money line. Like, I honestly think that we're more likely, truthfully, to see 3 games in WE JDG than we are RNG LNG. I know that's a hot take. It's not a heads up cash take, but I think that it is a winner take all take. Let's put it that way. I think you're safer playing sandbox with RNG and letting JDG lose. Or possibly just not get good scores in their loss and people having those. Like, who do you think? Like JDG is going to be higher owned in winner take all. Man, you know what? I'm not in any winner take alls right now, and I think I'm going to go enter a bunch of them now that I think about this, because I do feel like this is going to be a situation where we're going to see a ton of JDG. It was kind of like the other day. Who was on the slate 2 days ago? What was that slate? It was. Oh, okay. So it was LGD. LGD, I figured was like, it was like obviously the underdog that everybody wanted, the underdog that people were going to play, and people played LGD and they played them in winner take alls, and it was almost free if you just played BLG in those. I mean, like, I played a ton of LGD myself in GPPs, but when it came to winner take alls, I played BLG just because I thought like people would try and get a little too slick, and I think that's the same type of situation here. That you can play off of that leverage. Not that people are going to get slick, but people are going to play the JDG. You just have to hope that the 2 games that they have where they win, if they end up being the eventual series winner, are not absolute crushers, and you have to hope that they don't sweep. But if you're playing a winner take all, that's kind of all you need. Like, JDG loses, JDG has a bad game and goes 3, and you win if you have no JDG. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I mean, like, my cash theory tells me that I need to fit as much JDG into my lineup as possible. Not only for their exposure to WE, but because they're the highest as 2-0. But I can see the logic behind what you're saying in terms of being a little bit different.
Well, but what I'm talking about, is obviously winner take all. I don't actually hate, and I would probably advise people to play, the 4 JDG. Like, you're right. That's kind of where you want to go, because they are such a big favorite that if you're playing heads up, your opponent's probably going to play 4. It's just like, how do you get them in a lineup that it makes sense? And I don't.
There's no way to
like,
play 4 JDG.
You can play missing.
Yeah, but I'm
captain.
not playing support captain tonight. Though after looking at his scores, I might play support captain tonight. Jesus Christ, this guy pops off. What the hell?
Well, it's not only that, but like, look, when you do that, so why don't you go take a look at the scores? Let's take a look at the scores for everybody in this lineup. Just playing devil's advocate. Missing has had some massive pop off games, right? 369 almost like exclusively plays Gangplank these days. Even when he doesn't, the guy does kind of chat out quite a bit. And
I can confirm.
Yeah, so you get him, you get Kanavi, and all you need is like one game for Viego to kind of slip through and get into his hands, right? Iago, just nobody ever owns him. And then you get to your boy Prince. This dude just crushes it. And Kale, guy is starting to fuck, man.
Yeah, he
100%.
You can actually play 369 captain, and then you can get JD Gaming team slot. But that's the only way you can the only way you're force stacking is if you're playing missing. I see Will already put up a lineup that he thinks is gonna pop off tonight. That lineup does look really, really nice. Really, really nice. Yeah, it feels like so the only way you're fitting JDG is if you want 4 of them, you're gonna fit him with Prince, with missing captain, or you're gonna have to split the difference. What's Dub been up to? Has Dub been good or no?
Dove has been absolute dog shit.
Really? I'm seeing like 76, 73, 80. That's not terrible top scores.
They're pretty bad.
Are you sure he's been poop?
I think so. So we've got a new guest. Been on the show plenty of times. He's joined me in the people that are blocked from the meme account. We can't see it, so it sucks for us. But I've got the man who's created his own new single game simulations. Right as we're about to talk about a little LEC and LCS, we've got the man with 2 dogs. It's Nathan.
Hey, what's up, Nate?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nate, you're looking a little chubby. You put on that summer bulk.
Yeah, man. It's been a rough few weeks of we're moving soon, so we don't want to go out and buy like actual new food. So we're eating what's left in the house, and it's not good stuff. Like we're just trying to get rid of the food we have. It's not like good food. So I'm just having like crackers or,
Now,
like
Nate,
rice.
I understand you have 2 active dogs. Have you ever considered maybe going for a jog?
We're outside plenty of time during the day. But
jeez, Moose, you're just going in, dude. This
Anyways.
isn't the politics channel. This isn't like fucking like. Have you been talking to Baby Goat or something? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, we're just going at it today. Jeez.
I have a lot of pent up energy from yesterday's damn one game.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not Nathan's fault, man.
No, it's not.
What were you expecting from that?
I don't want to talk about my expectations right now.
What were you looking at? Well, look, we've just established, Nathan, that Moose looks through the box scores, has no idea what's going on. Just looking through the box scores.
Yeah, box scores.
And he probably looked through and saw that Dan One popped off, and he's like, "Yo, these guys are some chads. Let's go ahead and do it." Didn't think about like the other 10 games.
Lowest. Actually, Dan One doesn't have the lowest ceiling of teams.
Well, yesterday we had them on our DRX, so good luck.
I can't remember who it. Not. I mean, last night, yes, they had the lowest probably in terms of in wins. But whenever I run the stuff when they're on a slate, every once in a while, it surprises me that like some team in the LPL is like lower than Dan One. But I haven't.
I think
LECs tomorrow.
Nate, tell us, how do you like RNG tonight?
Who are they playing? They're playing.
They're playing LNG. Those trash cans at over at LNG.
Well,
so and they have blue side advantage. They have blue side advantage.
If LNG is on the slate, what happens?
They have to win. It's not they're always optimal. They have to win.
If LNG is on the slate, they're optimal, is what I was taught. So it's
they used to win. They used to win.
They used to win. They're not good anymore. That's probably
they don't have 2 blue sides.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
It's
that's
hard.
the gist of it.
You got to focus on the blue sides. Also, what's up with Breve? Is Breve gonna score points this season or?
Guys, like, can we stop?
don't.
Breeze sucks. Like, Breeze was good for like
Breeze
a
and
period
Bin
of
are
a year.
the
He sucked before
bottom
that. He
two.
All right,
sucked
so,
since then.
So like, what happened, right? Like RNG win MSI, and then they come back home and they're like, all right, Ben, fuck off, bro. we're getting this chat in. His name's Breve, and now Breve's not doing anything.
Bro, how toxic must Ben be? Like, this dude was on like a world finalist, MSI champion,
How
and
is
he's
he
just like,
toxic?
They kept
I don't
rostering him
know.
Did
in their
you know
fantasy lineups,
there's
and
only
he kept scoring like 12 points, and they were just like, "You gotta fucking go, man.
Yeah.
Did you
You
know
gotta go."
that Ben is the only player to ever score a pentakill in the World Championship?
Now you know.
Were those his only 5 kills for the entire series?
It was the Fiora game against Damwon
Gotcha.
where he like absolutely destroyed
I don't
everybody.
remember.
So there you go.
All right.
Don't ignore
All
the
right.
chat,
So,
Ben.
Nathan, we've gone through all of this. I've expressed my affection for Team WE. Being on blue
they're
side,
phenomenal.
plus
Phenomenal team,
725.
right?
What's that?
They're just a really good League of Legends team, correct? They should be
I mean, I
first
hope
in the
so.
league, and somehow they're last.
I mean, I think that they should be last, and they are last, and they should probably remain last. But they have 2 blue sides. They have a new coach. SMLZ is not in the bot lane. JDG likes to lose a game. I essentially think that if JDG likes to lose one and WE likes to win one, that means I'm getting plus 725 on a best of 1, and I get blue side advantage. I can't turn that down.
But have you considered that they're just really bad at the game? And JDG,
I just don't.
Mm.
For 30 minutes, Nate. For 30 minutes, I just need them to be a average League of Legends team and be better
like
than
you're hoping.
average.
But like the
JDG.
thing
That's
is,
it.
like
I just
what
need 30
percentile?
minutes.
Like what percent of the time are they even winning? I don't know.
They have like 4 wins. They have four map wins so far.
Listen,
3 of those were on blue side. Okay, so
I'm nothing but a disciple of Gelati, and we look at the odds for the Team WE JDG game, and plus 725 does not look like value.
look, Gelati's on the kill spread. I'll throw a little teaser out there for you guys that aren't there. He's got the kill spread Team WE, so
Actually,
he thinks that they're going to lose by less than 11.5.
He got his blue side bias.
Oh yeah, did you see that? Did you see
Then maybe
two
maybe
alternate-
725 is value. Okay, if we consider that as because we know that he back tested it like crazy, right? So we
while eating tuna, right?
we can assume, yeah, well, exactly. We can assume that it's just like top of the line stuff. Just slam the blue side bias table and print money.
If only we weren't blocked on a certain Twitter account, we could find
Dude, I
out
can't
whether
believe-
or not
Did I
was
really
playing
get blocked?
WWE.
Did I actually get blocked?
I don't know. Like, you'd have to look, but he said you can't view his.
Oh dang, I did get blocked. That's wonderful stuff. I can't look at his tweets where he just like screams at you, or the fact that the esports department no longer provides projections, or that their old projections were bad. Why don't you just take the average of the combined kills per minute and multiply times the game time?
Yeah, who knows?
What?
All right. So final thoughts on the slate. Favorite dog. I like WE and HLE. Maybe it's just that I've had a couple drinks.
Bro, team's
like
fun.
I've done really well through my like sober weeks here, or relatively well, not really well. I shouldn't say that. But I feel it. Like, look, somebody played HLE in the team slot and just absolutely nutted all over everybody. Werewolves.
Dude, I don't know how he absolutely
What a chat.
So I'm not gonna name the username just in I don't want to be mean to somebody, but this username that absolutely nuked the lobby the other day. He had like a 16, 17K day in just the 15 and the 44 combined. And over the last 12 slates inputted, he's only up around 9K. So besides that slate, he's down around 8. And somehow he just absolutely which is all you need in tournament play. But from what I know about this guy's tournament results, we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon.
I mean, he might have figured it out, like our boy who runs the low stakes.
You're not wrong. Maybe he did.
That dude Brad says he's the best low stakes player. I don't think so. I think it's our boy Jake.
Okay, who said that? Who said the best
what's his name?
Brad?
Who's the guy? The guy. Yeah. Brad says that, but I think it's Jake, man. I think the best low stakes player out there.
You can't down Brad like that. Brad is definitely the best low stakes player of all time.
I don't know.
Self-proclaimed by Brad. So
I don't know. We're annoying him, but hey. So I heard that you have some simulations that take a couple hours to run. That's okay.
No. The best of 1 sims run very, very quickly. The best of 3 sims, which are done, run a lot slower than Will's do, just because I have a bad computer for running simulations. I'm just using a laptop for it, which is never ideal when it's a Mac laptop. But okay. I can run the best of 3 sims for a game, like a set of 4 games in like 10 minutes. And the best of 1 sims takes like 4 minutes, 3 minutes for a 5-game slate. So not too bad.
Let's run through the LEC. We have continually been dicked on by DraftKings for these slates. We had like a brief stint within spring where we got some good slates. They were super exciting, but Ian J hasn't been in the lobby, presumably been playing some poker in Vegas. And as a result, we've seen all of our contests shrink, and I blame it solely on him.
On who?
Ian J.
Oh, Ian. Yeah. Ian's living it up right now.
It's his fault. Like if he was there, we'd fill in the T-dub. We'd have 3 max still, but we don't because of him and other, poker aficionados.
Not playing really at all right now, anyways.
But, yeah, your fault too. Me and Moose are holding this entire fucking industry up.
You, Moose, and Will.
Moose.
And illegal Stratos and Schlude. Those are the guys.
XL and Astralis. Plus 265 for Astralis. I am Jay Hoon's biggest fan. I am the original XL. I'm not the original XL fan, but I'm the most original, most OG XL fan that I feel is still around. Man, this looks heavy-handed. Moose, how much LEC have you been watching when you were in Europe? You were like living the embodiment of LEC, watching it at night, kicked up with your feet, probably drinking some wine, eating steak.
Yeah.
Tell me about this game.
So I wasn't watching any LEC because it goes on so late and everybody's like going out, having dinner, partying. Like you don't have time to watch it in Europe. LEC is meant to be watched in America because you wake up.
Bro,
it's 9
we're just nerds. We have our hands in our pockets. That's the thing.
LEC is meant to be watched in America is a take that I wasn't expecting to hear.
It's just like nobody like has time to watch it in the evening. Everyone's partying, chilling, and they don't show it anymore.
I guess it's fair because what kind of North American wants to watch LCS? And if they're not everyone's up at 4 a.m. for the Eastern leagues. So yeah. LEC was made for America.
LEC is Chad. You wake up, you get ready for the day. The slate starts in the morning, so you can go to the gym, you can run errands, and you're watching. Yes, you're doing people stuff. You're doing like normal people stuff. So
right.
I'm gonna need your take on this game, but it looks like Excel's a good team.
Nathan, what do you have to say about this? How much have you paid attention to the
LEC? I've watched all the games.
Okay. Well, then
I know
team watch the tape. Like Kevin would tell you that makes you an expert.
Yeah, not every game, but I want to say like 75 to 85% of the days I've watched. I don't know how many games have been so far. What, 8 games so far? 6, something like that. But
yeah, sure.
Excel has been ridiculous this year. Well, this summer, not during spring. But I think that so is Australis. So like minus 360 is probably too big of a line there, too much. probably should be like slightly closer. But I mean, like, it seems like a pretty Excel's a fan favorite. Slam Australis. People like Excel. They've already garnered that love from the field, so might as well go opposite in tournaments.
So yeah, like I'm obviously missing 2 of the days, so I'm missing the entire 3rd week. So that I don't really want to reference that chart again, but I think Astralis has been a team that's shown a propensity to want to fight, and I think this is good for DFS. But my concern being is that people, like you said, have seen the success from Excel, and holy shit, did people jump on this bandwagon like real fast. I think if you are getting different with Excel, there is a way to do it too. What is? I always wonder what's going to pop up when I do that. Let's take a look at something here. Let's take a look at Excel.
Dude, I love this site, but at the same time, I feel like the League of Legends stuff is like not useful whatsoever. But like the site in general is really good. Like the contest analyze stuff is like super cool.
So let me show you what is useful, because there are things that are useful, at least for me.
Okay.
Like this right here. I think this is a semi-useful. It like confirms it, but like where I was going with this is that if you're playing Excel and Excel is popular, one of the guys that you can kind of target that I think goes under-owned on a regular basis is Marcoon as a captain specifically. I think people put him into lineups quite frequently, but you can see throughout the course of this split, he's had just as many, if not more, in fact, more games as the highest scoring member of the team. And so that's kind of important. You have to find another team that has a big jungle scoring kind of guy. That was a terrible sentence. But that's the point. And it's even startling to see Finn up there. And these are in wins. Obviously, right. In defeats, it's a little bit different.
I think one of the more important things to consider is that, so like in theory, yes, I agree with you. Sample size is like so small. Like,
okay, so fair enough, but we can.
But
everybody has the same sample
it is better.
Size, right?
So it's better to use small sample than using no sample at all, and you can probably, like, given the stats, like sim out whatever, and like get like an actual distribution.
So, but this is the same team that this is essentially the same team as Spring. So we can pull the data all from Spring, and he still ends up being, significantly higher than like the mid captain, a top captain. Not that either of those things can't work, but you can still see that Marcoon is the top scoring player in fantasy points on this team and wins enough times that if you're trying to get different, he is a big favorite. That is a place to go. Obviously, Patrick is king here, but that goes without saying, I think.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's fair. I think that in general, one of the things that is really cool about the LEC DFS side is that like jungle and top captains are like way more viable. It's a lot harder for them to score the top of the team 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row than it is to do it in one. So you definitely get a lot of under-owned spots in terms of like people think that it varies less than it does.
Well, and one thing that you could probably do, depending on how deep you wanted to go into the data, specifically on like best of ones, is where top captains are viable and which side, specifically because of champion priority. And I think that that's a big thing that you have a problem with in a best of 3, because you might get a guy that has like a Gangplank game, or he's going to be a carry game, but like you're counter picking him if you're on the other side. So it's really deep, and I don't think you need to do that. But if you're a guy that really wants to dive deep into it and get a bunch of information and overanalyze and probably analyze yourself out of some good decisions, that's a route that you could go down. But yeah, look, I think that this is too heavy. I think Astralis is better than plus 265. Not a ton, but I think that there is an advantage there. probably going to lay a little bit of money on there and hope that they hit. But next one, BDS. We've seen some good things out of BDS. We've seen some bad things out of BDS. The biggest question mark that I have when I see a minus 600 and a plus 365 is both of these teams just had a week off. Like, what are they going to look like after that week off? Sometimes we see teams kind of put things together in those timeframes, and BDS kind of, well, PDS has always felt like they were just like kind of right there to putting it together. Maybe they did this weekend. Plus 365. Nathan, is this value? Not for DFS, for betting. Is this value?
I mean, it's a best of one probably, but at the same time, like Mad Lions sans Reeker is good. Like, since they got rid of him, they've been like very solid. Have they not?
Do you know what team Reeker plays for now?
I would assume something in the ERL, considering
And it is. Do you know which team in the ERL?
No, I have no idea.
BDS Academy.
See the narrative. They got to bring up Reeker for the game, and then they'd have a chance.
Yeah, perhaps.
I'd probably just stick to the. That's probably not a great line value for betting it, but like they probably are a good spot in like fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, so when BDS has, when they've won, they've scored really well, right? Like, they don't like cleanly win some of these games,
and they don't like
BSs
to roll over either. They sort of like keep games contested. Like X Matty is like the kind of guy that's like somehow like the team's gonna lose like 18-5 in kills, and he's gonna have 5 kills and 5 assists somehow.
Yeah, in the first 2 weeks they kind of got rolled, but like those 2 games here, I don't know. I think they are like a buy low team. I feel like that when people are high on them, and they did get high on them the last week, they don't perform really well. When people aren't there on them, they're there. They're a good spot. Plus 365 in a best of one in a very winnable matchup. I think is the place to go. I think that this next game, Misfits at plus 183. Fnatic at minus 240. I don't know what the pricing is like, but just looking at these other favorites, Fnatic and Misfits, I assume that these are going to be 2 of the highest owned teams on the slate. I would guess that they're the most affordable because they're in one of the closer games, and teams playing the Misfits have just been a fantasy bonanza. Fnatic has been one of those teams that has scored a ton of points. Moose, I tend not to go to you here in the LEC. Do you have anything to say? I don't want you to feel left out.
No, I'm not left out. You guys are totally good. Don't even sweat it.
Nathan, all right.
No take on a minus 240 favorite, dude.
They're priced very low for their odds / ceiling. Like their average stack cost is like 64.20. I think Osmo has it as. Like with captain and stuff included. So like you get like that's normally like a near coin flip game salary, like 64 and 6,000 are like the 2 coin flip salaries they give. So the fact that you're getting it for minus 240 and that it's Fnatic, that team's gotta be like the mega chalk.
And I guess the case that you'd make against it is that Fnatic has not been throughout the course of this year a team that scores a ton. Maybe they actually have in a couple of the games that they've won so far this year, but that's just not what they were in spring. I mean, I guess that's the case that you're making is that either A, that they could lose because Misfits have kind of found their groove, or B, Fnatic is just a really clean team. Upset always scores really well, but they funnel everything to him. And then maybe guys like Razork or Humanoid or Wonder don't score really well, and they're just not viable as a 4 stack. They are affordable. They are going to be a team that people are going to play a lot. I think that people are kind of down on Misfits, and rightfully so. I think Misfits are a team that do give up a ton of kills, and the biggest problem that they've had, not only in spring carrying them over into summer, is that they've had just an absolutely atrocious early game. They've put themselves into so many different deficits and holes that, commendably, they found their way out of several of them and found my way out of several $1,000s as a result. But I don't know. I think Fnatic win here. I don't want any part of this from a betting standpoint. I think this game is going to be very popular from a DFS standpoint. It's not the first game on the slate. It's hard to get away with everything considered, but like I think you almost have to.
You get some weird ownership just given like the absolutely insane pricing on G2 and Mad Lions, I guess. Unless Austin was like way off on the pricing, so I'm not looking at like the actual like player prices. I'm looking at the average.
Oh yeah, like Unforgiven's 82.
Yeah, like it's insane pricing for G2 and for Mad. So the thing is, the stacks that do fit, Excel, Rogue, Fnatic, all fit together as like favorite 4-3s. I'm pretty sure. So you're gonna get some like stupidly owned combinations because to play 4 stacks of Mad or G2, you're playing either A, support / team captain, or B, you're playing one of the relatively larger underdogs, which like just in general, like fantasy fields don't like to do. Of course, like someone like me, someone like you, someone like Will, like people that are like multi-entering are much more likely to. So you still get some percentage on them. But like on a slate like tomorrow, where there's like so many, like every favorite is like 62% or bigger, you're gonna see a lot of XL Fnatic Rogue combos, which is like all the reason to not play them.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is that if you're playing Mad or G2 and you're playing them with Fnatic even, you're playing Razor, who has just not been a great fantasy scoring player on Fnatic at all. So I'll let people play him, and I would much rather go to this Vitality Rogue game, which is the next one. And it's another, actually, it's not the next one. G2 plays SK. G2 is minus 800. SK is plus 460. Sure, go for it. Fuck it. Who cares?
No, G2 should never be like minus 150. I swear. G2 like doesn't win games.
I mean, there is a rule of thumb that you should have though. Like with best of ones, like just bet everything over plus 250. You know, plus 250 or whatever.
Like a series like score that should be like reasonable, but like for a best of one, no way. No way G2 is like that mentally stable that you can rationalize laying minus 800.
Well, moving on from that and getting to the game, you know, the game of the day, the last game, the game that matters, Vitality versus Rogue. Rogue's a pretty big favorite here. Are you down on Rogue, or do you just kind of dismiss it and say, hey, like they had some bad games. It's still the same team that went, you know, through the top of the table last time, undefeated. And, you know, like they're going to figure it out. I think that this week off helps them more than it helps anybody else. Vitality, you could give them a fucking month off, and I just don't feel like it helps anything. Like they're going to be who they're going to be.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to look at this game and just say, A, Rogue has been playing relatively subpar in a lot of spots, and then B, Vitality probably playing above expected in a lot of spots. They've had like, I think it's like twice so far where they've been like way down in a game in like early game and like just been gifted a win. So
Nathan, have you been watching all the LEC games in preparation for a move to Europe?
No, I don't. You know, I don't know if I meet some random person like on the street, if I could be like, yo, like, what LEC team do you support? They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. You know.
Well, you won't have to ask them because you'll be wearing your.
Oh right, I'll be wearing my my SK Gaming jersey. My who on like Gen X, but it's now JNX.
Jersey. Yeah, took out all the balls. Yeah, look, we know that you're not going to be wearing the league stuff. You're going to be a CS:GO guy there. You know, like
of course, yeah. I'm going to be walking around wearing a Smooya jersey at all times.
You're going to be like, who's your favorite AW peer? You know, like.
Of course, yeah. What else would I do? Well, bad for the brand if I don't, right?
All right, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like when you're looking at these, like, how does this Rogue fit better with Bad Lions or G2? Like a little bit. Like you're still getting jungle captains.
Right. That's why I'm saying that like the combinations of Rogue Fnatic and Rogue Fnatic. Who's the other favorite that I'm not saying? An Excel. Rogue Fnatic Excel
Yeah.
combinations are going to be way more owned than like the G2 plus dog or Mad Lions plus dog builds, which leads to some. It leads to a lot of the higher median builds being utilized versus the higher ceiling builds not, which is like a dream for the multi-enter, I feel like.
Yeah, and so if you like find like so like there's apparently a Fnatic like how often how
no one's using that lineup. That lineup is totally unused, no dupes whatsoever. That's actually gonna be Will's 35 lineups is gonna be just that one.
That's totally gonna be that's the nut lineup, by the way,
Yeah,
guys.
buddy.
Like this is it. This is it. This is the lineup.
If that lineup wins, you can guarantee that like if I play tomorrow afternoon, if I play and this lineup wins, I'm cashing 0 lineups.
Magic Kyle probably is gonna
cashing 35 out of 35 in first place. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous lineup. That should not be a thing.
Why is that the one lineup that's possible with like it just doesn't make any sense.
Like,
so
how does that
just
even work?
To give you reference here
too. Yeah. Those 3 lineups over under 10 duplicates in the contest, over for sure. Like no chance it's under.
So would you say that those 3 lineups will make up 5% of the contest, like in the main or more?
Well, yeah. Actually, yeah. It's 1176 is the total or something like that. So like 5% is like what, like 58. So 59, 58.8, so 59. Will they make up 59 lineups? It's close. Like it's probably in like plus or minus 5 or plus or minus 10 from that mark.
Okay, so yeah, it's 1176. That's not why I paused though. I paused because I just opened up DraftKings and I looked in the lobby and they have a 20K to first
two gamer. Let's go. M. Bellman absolutely smashed it. Let's be real. He absolutely.
I thought he was going to do it 2 days in a row, to be honest with you. And it's an anyone's legend slate, nonetheless. Team WE, Invictus, JDG.
Dude, what's it? Oh my God, what's the fucking? What the day? It was last year's 20K. Last year the first 20K. Going into the last game of the slate, I was like, into the literally the last game. The last match of the day, we were already 1 game in. I think anyone's legend was on it, and it was 1-0 them, and I was in like 1st, 3rd, and 7th, and then the game stack was optimal, and Bellman took like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was so mad about it because I was like, I had been sitting in first by like 10 points for a long time, and then like I just got absolutely destroyed like by like 60 points past me.
And that was the day that you learned, unlike some people, that just when there's still a game left, it doesn't matter, right?
No, of course not. But I remember going into like the 3rd game in the series, being like, as long as this game's not like 20-18, like we're cool. And then it was 20-18, and then I was like, that's or like something like that, and I was like, this is wonderful stuff. Really happy with this result. Couldn't be happier.
Been there plenty of times.
Of course, yeah. I think at this point, hopefully, if you're multi-entering, you should have been in first at least some point in the slate, at least more than a few times. But just brutal altogether. What was that lineup? Was that? Go Fantasy Labs, man. That's actually My biggest beef with Osmo right now is they don't remove former starting players in LPL projections. So I have to because I upload my own, and if you don't upload for someone that they have a projection for, it just automatically uses their. It's okay. It's okay, bud. I'm okay. I'm living okay. It automatically leaves their Osmo projection in. So last night, the Invictus support is left in the field, and stuff like that. That's not playing. So you get a lot of weird annoyances. It's not an annoyance really. It takes 2 seconds. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, he needs to hire more people, dude. He's just trying to get
I know.
an edge.
He needs to hire more people. So Gugs,
bro. Dude, like the way you solve the universe, you just have if you just have Osmo hire Gugs, and everything will be absolutely amazing.
If Osmo hires Gugs, the universe is going to be at peace. That's just the way it goes.
Does Osmo does he have a tennis guy? Like maybe Gugs could be the
tennis guy. I'm pretty sure it's also Jeremy Schritt who does the league stuff. I think it's also the tennis guy. Well, at least for write-ups, I know that Sean does the projections, and Sean's very good at projection. At least
we should get them together on a show, and they should talk tennis. It would be wonderful. You could be on there too.
I think a show, if you could get Sean's on and Will to talk tennis on a show, I think that'd be hilarious.
You know what's crazy
is that are crushers that don't know anything about tennis really.
Well, so it's funny because obviously Gugs came into our life a year ago and started pitching all these tennis bets, and he's got his own lounge and got multiple people into playing tennis DFS and betting it. My best friend has just I don't know what the fuck just happened, but he is into tennis all of a sudden. He's watching it. He's watching every Wimbledon match. He's sending me every single bet that he's making, futures, all this stuff. And he's like, "Did you tail me?" And I'm like, No, I didn't tell you one fucking bit.
Tennis betting market is the one of the highest, if not the highest volume betting market in the world. And the lines are very sharp. So if you're not devoted to modeling tennis, betting tennis is terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I just told him that in a couple years I can see him playing he got a ping pong table. He's become big in ping pong, tennis. I think handball is next. It's he's going to be eating bagels for breakfast with just this complete New York persona. He doesn't live in New York and he doesn't fit that persona, but that's where he's at.
He's gonna head that way. I went full Jew the other day on the way to Orlando. I stopped and I'm Jewish. It's okay. I went and pulled the roots back, and I had on the way there I had a bagel, cream cheese, lox, tomato, onion at 7 a.m. Full on. Embrace the roots on that one. I used to hate that.
I mean, it's fair. I usually have a bagel with cream cheese. Just about every morning.
You throw the smoked salmon on there, the lox. You throw.
So the last couple of days I have, man. The last couple of days I have. My wife has discovered smoked salmon, and she loves it, but she doesn't like it for breakfast. She just can't. I'm like, you eat a beef and potato soup for breakfast, but you can't have salmon in your bagel.
You can't have the salmon. That's funny. That's Zoe has that problem too, because I'm very much in the group of if I'm gonna eat something, does it really matter what time of day it is? So if it's 10 a.m. and I haven't had anything to eat yet, what's to say I don't have normal lunch food at 9 or 10.
I mean,
maybe if your Chads were single, you could just eat whenever you want.
I mean, that's fair. I don't know.
I'm about to cook up some steak and eggs after this. So.
Oh, you need some steak and eggs at 7:19? Wow, really bold and courageous of you. Jesus Christ.
Oh, dude, so daytime by you. What a life.
I'm living it, baby.
Oh no, it's 10:20 here. I have a flight tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Yeah, Velman, I am. I'm getting rid of the scraps in my house. We've been having slim pickings lately. I don't even know what I ate today. Nothing good. but I have a flight.
All right, so bold prediction: LEC Slate Moose. Give me an optimal team.
An optimal team.
No, I said Moose. I want Moose first. Moose.
G2.
All right.
I think that I mean I'm not gonna not say G2, but I think we see some sort of slate where we get like G2 and Mad plus like one of the bigger dogs to be optimal. So like you're gonna have like G2 Australis or G2 Misfits, something like that.
Yo, did your cat like hear his dog and then like just jumped up? Like really was interested in that.
Yeah, he's eyeing something over there. He's just so you guys know, this is Moose. This is who I'm named after. This is Moose.
That's who you're named
after. He's got so much skin.
He's a flabby boy.
Yeah.
All right.
My dogs are in separate places. Otherwise, I'd show them. One of them's behind me. One of them's in the rug over there, being, I guess, chewing up a toy. That's great stuff. Love it.
I don't know. Maybe this lineup's gonna be optimal right here.
The one you're
that's
not showing.
That's my bold take.
The one that we can't see.
Oh yeah,
the one that we can't see. Chad.
The Misfits BDS. That would be something. What are the odds on that? What Misfits is like 32, BDS is like 20, like 6.5% chance they both win. It's not dead. It's not going to be owned. So definitely the play.
Yeah, or maybe I don't know. I think one of these. I think I don't know. One of these combinations. I think Misfits, BDS. Just put them in there. It's not G2. Let's just put it that way. You can try and get cute and put 4 G2 in there. It's just too expensive. Why try and stick 4 G2 or 4 Mad Lions? Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Well, when G2 comes in and drops 37 kills somehow tomorrow, you know,
then I'll lose. It's okay.
You're literally not wrong. I'm just like, we're just trying to finish what we have, and like it's a lot of like not good food, but we'd rather not spend money on food, I guess, right now.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna call it because we kind of went off talking about bagels and smoked salmon and just some random shit and showing
Later, dudes. Good luck tonight.
So we will be back tomorrow. We're gonna have a big slate, the 5-gamer. It's exciting. We're gonna come for the show. We're gonna go ahead and go over everything. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back. We're going to live stream during the games. So, Cove broadcast, big time. Let's do it. So, I'll see you guys later. Like and subscribe, donate.